Welcome to Will Speaks History. 75 years ago today, on May 8, 1945, the ceasefire across Europe came into effect, and with it the end of the Second World War in Europe. Nazi Germany was the last nation in Europe to either surrender or join the Allies. Celebrations were held all across Europe. The fall of the Nazi regime and the evil actions committed had been stopped. Millions had been liberated by the Western Allies and the USSR, and now the time for peace and reconstruction had come. Winston Churchill himself suggested that the day of German surrender should be known as Victory in Europe Day, not only to reflect that this was a real victory for all involved in Europe, but he didn't want to take away from the fact that there was still warfare in Asia. Many people in the UK celebrated by gathering in the streets and parading, dancing and having the best times of their lives. This day had been coming in the eyes of the British ever since they had beat the Luftwaffe in the Battle of Britain back in 1940. 5 years on, and they had liberated France and the Low Countries with the aid of the Empire and their allies. VE Day represents more than just the end of war in Europe. It is one of the last days celebrated by the UK, when the Empire was still the largest in the world. After World War II, the UK began to lose all colonial power, and by 1997, the Empire had come to an end. The Second World War in Europe as a whole represents the darkest hours of mankind, the worst depths this planet has ever been plunged into, the evils of men. But it also shone a light onto the best of man, the will to carry on fighting for what is right and to never back down until the end, to come back stronger if kicked down before, to come together as people of different nationalities and ethnicities, to combat the forces of evil that had shrouded Europe. Of course, the same can be said for the hundreds of thousands that fought in Asia and across Africa, but that will be saved for another video. Today in 2020, we are obviously in a very unique circumstance, but I strive to continue to create content to be published and viewed in the hopes of bringing understanding and knowledge about the past. This year's VE Day will be celebrated distinctly differently when compared to others. It is sad to see specific current affairs get in the way of public celebrations, but that shouldn't be it. I believe that no matter where people are right now, this day should be celebrated in honour of all those who fell for what we have today. In particular, the 2nd of September 2020 will mark 75 years since Japan officially surrendered and World War II ended. That is a day that I believe should be celebrated to the fullest, even if it is somewhat difficult due to circumstances we face this year. VE Day gives us a day to remember, and the sacrifices made to secure our today. We remember to all of those who fell from 1939 up until 1945 in Europe and Africa. Thank you all for watching. I will be making a video in September 2020 to sum up the end of World War II, what it meant, and the aftermath of the conflict. The next video I will be making is based around the Tiger tank. After that I will continue to do singular topic videos, and we'll be starting the next series, which will be World War I, very soon. Thank you again. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of my uploads. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.